find enlightened. These are words other podcasts use to describe themselves, not us. This is Fairly Harmless, the place where you take a break from being smart. With musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Please enjoy Andrew and James.
Welcome to Fairly Harmless. I'm Andrew.
I'm James.
And I'm John.
Excellent. It's been a minute since we've been in the studio.
Oh, it feels like just yesterday.
It does.
Did you happen to listen to the last episode, John?
No, I listened to the Halloween and the
The Thanksween
Thanksween?
episode.
yeah. Was,
The Christmas one with Christmas?
Christmas one is out. It's
Christmas with Gary and
Odessa.
Gary and Odessa was quite good. And the most recent one,
The Woo episode.
the Woo episode, was
Probably
perhaps one of our best.
one of our
ever.
best ever.
I'll give it a listen.
Yeah, it's up there with one of the best.
2 thumbs up, Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah. I wonder, do they still do that even though both of them and probably the replacements
yeah.
are dead?
One of them left, so it's now...
Roper and Bob.
Yeah, right. It's Siskel and Roper and Ebert. But yeah,
They're all dead.
they're
now.
all dead. That cash cow is still going on.
Speaking of dead,
Speaking of dead,
we've got a new idea.
Oh, great.
well, it's not it's an adaptation.
Well, it's somebody else's idea, but we're gonna take it and run with it.
We've only briefly talked, which is how we do.
Yeah.
So this was born out of
rough.
a phrase that you used one time to talk about some people that you knew that you referred to as circling the drain.
And we loved it.
We loved it. Do you remember?
Do you
Did I
remember
say
that?
that in this
No,
podcast?
no. It was in another
Another venue,
venue.
place.
Another place.
I
Do you
think I remember
remember?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went home thinking, what the fuck is wrong with... Like half the time I do when I make a comment, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I got to tell you I have loved that moment, and I was so blessed to be there to hear that, and I
Right.
now use it almost exclusively
Right. He and I use it all the time. It has entered the lexicon
of our speak.
of our speak.
Well,
And we use
that's
it
great.
all the fucking time.
And we think that this show, if it does nothing else, it should be a prognosticator of what's to come.
Right. So this is Circling the Drain is our take on, have you ever heard of the game called Deadpool?
Yeah, like who's going to die next?
Yeah, the game is you bet who is going to die this year.
Right. So we're going to do that, but maybe call it Circling the Drain as opposed to something that's already been trademarked.
Right.
So
I guess, how much does it cost to trademark? Have we trademarked anything ever?
we're definitely going to buy circlingthedrain.com. I can promise you that.
So this is a contest, maybe.
A new contest.
Well,
like
you and
the old contest
Yes.
we had. It's still going on.
We're still working on that. The
The
only
fan
contest.
contest.
This new contest, this is the announcement of it. We've got to figure out what the handicaps are for people that are technically not old enough but look like shit and have poor lifestyles and may possibly die. I'm not
So
supposed
you're saying there's different categories.
Right. And we got to figure out how to handicap them. But
Right. It's remember from Jerry Maguire where...
I never saw that.
What?
You've never seen Jerry Maguire?
I don't know.
Oh wow, we gotta.
Oh, that's
we gotta watch that.
There's
much more of a tragedy than this was.
But
But there's a scene there where Tom Cruise is competing with a little kid, just giving cool statistics on the world. And did you know whatever? And he recites some statistic like Pete Rose has more hits than anybody. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Kid says, "Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?" And then Tom Cruise says another statistic that's amazing from sports, and the kid says, "Did you know my next door neighbor has 2 rabbits?" And then Tom Cruise is like, "Hey, I can't compete with
I
that
can't compete with that.
because the kid's operating with no rules, wide open."
right.
So I think you need to have a confined pool, like fantasy. Fantasy is confined to people that are in the NFL.
Right.
You could just predefine a bunch of people that that
Yeah.
that people can pick from.
with the points during the Super
or
Bowl.
fantasy. There's a pool of
Right.
people, and then you have a draft.
Right. Ooh, a draft of the
Ooh.
dead. Circle in the drain.
Circling the drain.
Drain draft.
A circle draft, a drain draft.
Circle draft sounds like something else.
It does. It does.
I don't know.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
So like Nick Nolte or something like that.
Definitely Nick Nolte.
Oh.
I would put Nick Nolte on definitely
That
top.
was one I friggin' missed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Val
Now,
Kilmer?
That's different.
Val
Val
Kilmer.
Kilmer?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think he actually had cancer in the last.
Yeah, I think he's definitely, if not down the drain, like really close.
The last Top Gun, his character in there had cancer because he actually had cancer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. He's still with us.
Yeah, I knew that.
He's not looking so hot.
That one there, yeah.
Yeah, he's oof.
It's kind of like he looks like a cross between Val Kilmer and John Malkovich in that, doesn't he?
He does.
It's
And a mask that's melting. So who you got on your list?
well, I mean, some no-brainers. I think Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood's a no-brainer.
He's mid-90s. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's got
No, I
to go
didn't.
soon.
Can you can?
Didn't he just make another movie though?
I think he did.
Yeah.
You go, old Clint.
Robert Duvall is another one. 94. Yeah.
He looked super old 20 years ago. So,
Robert Duvall was the star of George Lucas's college film that he did in college for like his graduation.
not THX, right?
THX.
Oh, THX.
THX
Okay.
1138, which I've watched, and you know what?
Terrible.
Don't watch it. Save yourself an hour and a half. It's
Save
not.
the time.
There's worse movies out there, but it's boring as fuck.
I'm surprised he did so well with Star Wars because everything, didn't he do American Graffiti and wasn't that terrible?
No, that's fucking phenomenal.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
You seen American Graffiti?
That was my first R movie. I saw that in a double feature with Blue Lagoon.
Ooh. Blue Lagoon is not that great, but there's some fabulous nude scenes in there, if I recall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Blue Lagoon like Cocoon? Are those similar?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
Well,
can we say in what
yeah.
way? In what way is our
What are
Blue
you-
Lagoon?
I don't know.
Similar.
I remember Cocoon has
Has Lagoon?
has Wilford Brimley in it. Isn't that right? I want to see him naked. That's one thing I need to see before I die.
I just remember the old people are like taking those eggs and like trying to crack them open on the side of a swimming pool.
Right. Right.
Would old people be that stupid? I mean, doesn't that by the
Right.
time you get old, one of the nice things about being old is you're no longer
Stupid.
that big of an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
You hope.
Or destructive. You know, those,
Yeah.
that testosterone is it's just barely ticking over.
Do you have any females?
I do. I can't remember who told me. It might have been
Melanie Griffith.
Melanie Griffith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oof, whoa.
Wow.
Thank God for
67?
Wikipedia.
Wow.
She looks like she's a rough 67.
It's like 107. Jesus
She looks
Christ.
like 76.
Wait a minute. Do you remember there was a puppeteer who from like the 60s? You remember this? There was a dude from like the 60s or the 70s, and he had a doll that looked a lot
Oh, like this.
like
Yeah.
that. You remember what I'm talking
Yeah, but I can't
talking
remember.
about?
Yeah.
Pull up puppeteer Wayland Flowers.
Wayland Flowers. There he is.
Do a
Yeah.
search for Wayland Flowers.
Wow. Melanie Griffith does look like that puppet.
This is how my fucking brain works.
Look at that.
Is that disturbing or what? Some other obvious ones. Dick Van Dyke. I believe he is 99.
He is up there. And Dick Van Dyke, they just did a song with, I want to say Maroon 5 or somebody like that.
Yeah, that's what the youngsters like to do. They want to bring in the it makes them feel good.
Is Mary Tyler Moore around?
I think she's dead.
I believe she is dead.
Yeah, I believe she is too.
I can't remember his character's
Not
name,
that
but
long ago.
he was the he was the character from Mary Poppins. The chimney sweep
Wow, he was?
from
Jeez.
Chimney. From
That must be
Mary
early,
Poppins.
right? I mean,
1964, baby. Right? Yeah.
his role.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
He was also Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah, he's how old is he, James?
99.
Yeah.
25. So he has to make it a whole cycle around the sun, though, to make 100.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah.
But people make it to 100 nowadays.
They do. Or they could be like Betty White, who had this whole spread in People magazine. Not a naked spread, but like a story about her. And it wasn't like Hustler. And
that's when you know there's no more age discrimination when 90-year-old women are doing full frontal.
Yeah.
In Vanity Fair, no less.
Yeah. She shows they had this whole thing in People magazine about her turning 100 years old, and they had this whole article about it, and they printed all these magazines, and they were going to put them on the stand, and then she fucking kicks off like 2 days before she turned 100.
The People magazine curse, perhaps.
Yeah, the People magazine curse.
Wow.
Yeah.
So another one is Mel Brooks.
Wow. Mel Brooks is still with us?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got to be, I think he's 94. No, he might be older than that.
He might be Mel B.
Melvin Brooks.
Who's
brought us so many.
He may be dead today. I don't know.
Look at that, 98.
Yeah. He's
98 and a half. So many classics.
Wow. So he's got to make it to June to make it to the 99 club.
Yeah.
I would say he's definitely circling in the drain.
But I mean, that's 2010. He looks amazingly alive in 2010, which is admittedly
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he doesn't look that good. I mean, we probably should put him on Death Watch.
Is that a different? So they're circling the drain, but then there's the Death Watch. Is that like honorable mention? Or?
Well, that's probably like hospice for
for like first team All-American.
First team All-American.
How about Jack Nicholson?
Oh yeah, he's got to be in his 80s, right?
Yeah, you're right.
There he is in his youth.
87. Yeah. And I just have the feeling like
he looked old 25 years ago.
But also, I feel like he didn't live a super clean life.
Right,
you
right.
know,
He should already be dead. He's like
a fair amount of drinking,
he's like the
and
Keith Richards of fucking actors.
Yeah.
Keith Richards?
Yeah, Keith Richards is kind of like our gold standard. He's like the Oscar statue. He is the epitome of that which circles the drain.
We haven't gotten there yet. So there's circling the drain, and then there's undead.
Right. Those that are walking the earth that should be dead that are not.
The Keith crawled back out of the drain.
Keith is number one on that. Because, I mean, countless people. I mean, I've been saying for 20 years
he should be
Keith
dead.
Richards should be dead.
Right. I think he believes that of his own self.
Also on that list is Gary Busey.
Yes.
Have you seen a picture of Gary Busey recently?
You mean like in the last couple of days?
Yeah. Look at that.
Whoa. Yikes.
Right. You know, he looks a lot like my father. How old is he?
He looks like he's
had 80 years.
And...
Holy shit!
He was in a movie recently, I think, that I saw.
He looks like death wants him.
Like a fucking zombie right there.
Yeah, he looks like he eats people. It says "id," so he must still be with us. 80, only 80. He's looking rough for only 80.
Well, yeah, he's lived life to the fullest.
Yeah, has he?
Well, I don't know about that, but I think he's done a lot of drinking and drugging.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Stephen Tobolowsky, he's pretty good.
Or Tobolowsky.
Right.
He is good.
From Groundhog Day, remember?
Yeah, he was Ned Ryerson.
Ned Ryerson.
Yeah.
The most iconic characters.
That's a great fucking movie. You know, Bill Murray should probably be on the list, too.
Dated your sister until you told me not to. Bing!
Got the shingles real
bad senior year. Bing!
Yeah.
Isn't that your favorite film, James?
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That is one of my absolute
one of my favorites.
Me too.
Bill Murray probably circling the drain, too.
Cheech and Chong.
Oh, are they still with us?
I think they are. And they should be dead, but they're...
Tommy Chong, he is 86, definitely on the circling the drain list.
Looks pretty good, though.
78, yeah.
So Cheech is like, he's 78. Tommy Chong
3 years ago
is 86.
Holy shit.
It's like you and me almost, but they're famous. you're probably going to circle the drain before I do.
Yeah. Yeah. My dream is to be at near your deathbed when
When I pass.
when you're circling. It's probably not going to happen, but I mean that's what dreams are for. We want to have
We've got to strive for those things.
right. I believe the story on these two guys was that they were either performing as a band or they were doing comedy at a strip club
Oh,
when they were
maybe that's how we got to take off.
discovered. Yeah.
Maybe
Let's-
that's our angle. We need to take the podcast on the road to a strip club.
That's a great idea.
Odessa's going to love this.
Who's going to talk to your wife about this new idea
We gotta
we've got?
We got to take their show outside of the studio.
So Mel Brooks, also
10-year-old picture.
in terms of age, David Attenborough. You know David Attenborough?
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he's like 99.
Yeah.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's still alive?
I believe Gene is still
I don't
alive.
know if that's true.
He was
I don't think so.
he was a couple of weeks ago when I looked this shit up. I mean, so the rest of them that are like on the nose, that are, fairly likely William Shatner.
Oh, totally.
He looks like
Shatner.
hell. He's middle 80s at least.
I think Shatner's older. I think he's 90.
Another one, this guy may almost be undead, but Mick Jagger.
Yeah, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards are
Yeah.
in the same group.
Holy shit, William's 93?
93, yeah. When he went up in that Jeff Bezos rocket, I thought for sure he was going to die.
Wait, he went up in a Jeff Bezos rocket?
Yeah, he did. Like
I'm shocked. How long
5
ago
years
was that?
ago or something like that. Or maybe
Holy
3 years
shit.
ago.
Mick Jagger. How old is Mick?
Mick's up there.
Mick, he stays young. His wife is in her 30s, and his wife is 20 years younger than his daughter.
Than his daughter, yes.
Well, that's
I'm pretty sure. Look this shit
that's
up.
beautiful.
81, yeah.
So these next few are people that are aspirational.
Okay.
People I hate to say I want them to die, but I don't like them. So Cher.
Yeah.
I've never liked Cher. I don't know why. I don't like her.
I don't know why either, but I agree with you.
Now, this guy, he looks like he's almost dead. Pete Davidson.
Oh.
Look up Pete Davidson. He's like,
That's aspirational, right?
no, I don't dislike my number one candidate for I hope will. Right.
He's going to die of a drug overdose.
Yeah, he's 31, but he looks like he's 61. Right.
Yeah,
Look at that.
He's looking a little rough.
Yeah.
He's got some mileage on him.
He does. He put a lot of mileage on that body in 10 years.
My number one aspirational choice, though, is Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that's because you hate Oppenheimer and all Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah, the jury is out on Interstellar. The movie Interstellar. I think I like that, although there were some aspects to the time travel which were horseshit. But I may be more judgmental now.
You hated Oppenheimer so much that you now are back cataloging and hating all of his movies.
I am. And I hated it so much. I think I want to go watch it again to shit on it some more.
There you go.
Well, this has been Fairly Harmless. I'm Andrew.
I'm James.
And I'm John.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, John.
Thanks for having me.
Once again, this has been Fairly Harmless. Missing the point on... Wait, what's the point? Support Fairly Harmless at www.buymeacoffee.com/Fairly Harmless. Our musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Their music is available for streaming and purchase on most media platforms. For Fairly Harmless, this has been your announcer, Fast Eddie. See you soon.
She doesn't look that bad there. I just saw one of those pictures where their face looked like it got rearranged.
Right. Like some sort of Picasso situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is her Picasso years.
Picasso.